All right, it's been, I don't know, a week. Been busy procrastinating work, you know, life, still reading the scriptures, still trying to control my thoughts, still listening to things of positive influence that pertain to the Word of God. So, like I said, this video is about my life and things I've done, things that have happened to me, and how, reflecting back, how God has slowly pushed me in directions, to keep me out of real harm's way. Not only physical danger, but spiritual danger and, struggle. I've always been a very curious person, try it, figure it out. Thank God I was given gifts. I was talented enough to have the gifts that I have and be able to make a career out of what I do. But talking about back in my life when, being a sexual deviant and just disobeying God and growing up in the church, it's not like I didn't know better, right? I knew what sin was. I was baptized. I knew what baptism meant. Um, but I was 12. This is when I think something evil touched me. Ouija boards were like a thing. I don't know if you guys even know what Ouija boards are. Maybe if you're old, you'll know what Ouija boards are. But anyways, you know, those are the things you're not supposed to play with at all. But we had one, or somebody had one, and we were doing it and whatever. And then I got curious and started thinking about, like the dark side of things, like witchcraft and incense. I went out to my yard. I was probably 12 or 13, young. Um, Broad daylight. I got it. I don't even know where I got the incense from. It was I was burning it, kind of like chanting, calling on the wrong spirits. I remember sitting there in the sun and my legs were folded, my hands. I probably looked like an idiot to anybody that was driving by the street. And remember, I don't know what I was saying, but it probably wasn't good or what I was thinking, you know. But in an instant, I felt a evil, a dark, dark, evil spirit or something. Satan, one of his workers, I don't know. It was bad enough that it put a chill up my body. And I immediately stopped what I was doing and got up and ran inside the house. And I was scared to death. It shook me. It was evil. It wasn't good. It was a bad experience. And I think that's how Satan entered my life and found my weakness and, you know, and got me involved with, being a sexual deviant. Like I started masturbating at that age, and I mean I don't know what age boys masturbate at, but I thought it was kind of young. I mean I didn't even lose my virginity until I was almost 20, but when I did, I just I let loose. But that's been inside me for all these years. And like I said, I'm turned 61 this year. Um, yeah, my hair's not dyed. This is real. That's real. Um, Not that I did evil things, but that I think that moment it allowed something to touch me and get inside me. It's like, oh, we know his weakness now. He peeked that door open for us to take a look. And then once I got a taste of sexual sin, I never let it go. You know, knowing that it was bad and wrong, and binding myself to, I don't even want to say the number because it's disgusting, but to a lot of women. It was that was my idol, I guess. I lusted after women. I mean, I never got married and didn't have kids because I wasn't stupid. I knew I can't marry somebody. I mean, I guess you could, but it's funny. I had some morals, but I'm like, I can't get married to somebody and then have a freaking wandering lustful eye and have a kid and then get a divorce and put my child through the same bullshit that I had to go through because of, my real mother and stepfather. So, I was responsible enough in that era. But yeah, I just, anywhere. I was at anywhere, and I mean public, not public. It didn't make a difference. I remember having sex outside on church grounds. I'm surprised God didn't kill me that day. Man, just crazy stuff. But I know God's real. I know Him because He saved my life downstairs, and He saved my life several times in the hospital, especially the last 3 weeks ago. We ended up 3 times. He let me pay for my own consequences. And there's more times that I'll tell you guys about, but I'll skip forward some years because I don't want to keep harping on my dad. I mean, after we had that one fight in the gym over that book and embarrassment, he never, like I said, he never touched me again. Um, but I'd already moved out the house. I was 18. Me and my friend he was in college. I was living with him as a freshman. And I worked at a Sonic drive-in full time. You get your paycheck. That's everything. And this is the freaking, this is the 80s, man, early 80s. So the 80s, yeah. Anyway, yeah, early 80s. So that and the money meant everything. And now that I lived on my own and I had to pay bills and be a responsible 18-year-old kid, uh, like I said, your check meant everything to you. And I got paid. It was a Friday. Put the check in my wallet. Went over to my buddy's house. Stopped at a gas station, and it's a big gas station. Like we have, like I guess Racetrack or Valero or like a Crib Chip, one of the big ones that have the snacks and stuff on the inside, and multiple pumps. And this is Friday night, and this is inside a college town in Louisiana, and everybody's out. People going to dinner, people going out to clubs. I go over to my friends because we're going to a club. Put gas in my car, drive over to his house. We're talking, he's getting ready. And it's been like, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour before we leave his house. For some reason, I need to get my wallet. I think he was drive. He was gonna drive, and we were going back to his house, and I'd take my car home. And I didn't have my wallet. It had some cash in there, not a lot, enough to go out. But I didn't have my check, and that check I had to pay rent with. I was freaking out. I mean, I was freaking out. And this is how God shows his face. Even the small things, right? I'm freaking out and I'm cursing. I'm like, oh man. And then I start calling out to God, man, God, please, please, please. I tell my buddy, I said, I'll meet you at the club. I gotta go back to that gas station, see if I can find my wallet. I can't emphasize, it's a Friday night. It's lit up like all, right? There's constant people going in and out of there. Takes me like almost 20 minutes to get back to that gas station from his house. And I'm praying in the car and I'm angry. I'm angry. I need this money, right? It was like I said, I think it was less than 200. It was like 180 bucks, like $80. Back then, minimum wage was like 365 an hour, right? It's not like today, but that's a lot of money back then. And things were cheaper than it cost what they did. But man, and I remember started breaking down a little bit in the car. I'm like, what am I gonna do for money, man? I can't borrow money. and and I'm yelling at God, and I'm just not happy with the situation. I pull up into the gas station, and God is my witness. I pull up into the gas station where I went to get gas, and I see something on the ground, which looks like my wallet. I stop my car. I get out. It's got a tire track run across straight over it. It's right there in the middle. Like you would see it. I pick it up. My cash is in there. My check's in there. There's people around. And I remember just being angry and crying and begging to God. And that little simple thing that He made that wallet invisible, that nobody saw it, right there, obvious as daylight. I mean, like I said, the tire tracks on it. And then you go back and you normal, oh, I got my check. Okay, see you later, God. Thanks. And it seems trivial, but it was a big ordeal. Just to have that money, that little bit of simplicity and crying out in anger, not knowing what I was going to do in frustration. And I mean, the odds are extremely, probably better than close to like a lottery odd. But yeah, I mean, it's just always been something in my life that is just been there and kept me out of danger and crazy stuff, man. Like and the whole reason I'm telling people this is because crying out to God is really your only hope. And to have these experiences, be able to share them as many times as God has intervened. And I just disobeyed and disobeyed. And like I said, He showed His face to me, saved my life multiple times. I wonder what my life would have been if I wasn't so disobedient. At the same time, I said, I wasn't a drinker, but it's not that I never drank or didn't try it, right? Did everything for like a short period of time. You just do it. It's peer pressure. Your friends, sure, yeah, okay. I went to same thing. It's around the same period. I went to a club and I had drank with my friends, and then I never drove home. I always was with somebody. But this time I drove home, and somehow I went over the overpass. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I doze off. And I go over the overpass, off the side of the road, down the embankment, and it's like this, and then the on ramp. How I get down that embankment and back up on the on ramp and back onto the road asleep, asleep. I remember waking up as it came up off the over the embankment and hit back on the on ramp, not damage the car, other than grass and soil, not kill myself, not run into something. And startled and was woken up enough going, oh crap. I think I'd stopped the car. And then like I was wide awake, rolled the windows down and got home. Like I've got tons of stories where these just dangerous stuff happens and I don't die. And that's how I know now that God has a purpose for me. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just simply me telling my stories. And like I said, it saves one person. I don't know, or pulls somebody out of whatever it is they may be going through. You know, I went through losing a parent, and then losing my father, and then never knowing him, and then losing my mother, and then the struggles that I had in life with my step parents, and all the times I came close to doing something that would have altered the history of my life or taken my life. That Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, has a plan for me. And not everybody's path is short, and they find their direction quickly. Mine's taken 61 years and me close to death and 5 years of recovery. Now I have surgery and wants to have the surgery, if it works, I'm good. I'll tell you about a Bible verse tomorrow on when I ended up at the hospital on that Friday when God showed his face to me. But so many times he's intervened in my life. I mean, like shadow of a doubt, you just should die. And I never died. I'll tell you one about tomorrow when I was on a motorcycle, and it just, I can't emphasize it enough, but faith in Jesus Christ is everything. And if you're a non-believer, man, take some time in your life just to figure it out. Read it. Like, it's not going to kill you. I don't know what my journey is, but I know it involves God. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, he has saved my life for something. I mean, I've had visions. There's a lot of weird stuff. I mean, the fact that he showed himself to me. When I submitted, and I'm like, okay, it's fine. Forgive me. You can take me. Like I said, I've been good for 3 weeks now with the new medication, and Surgery. I've got surgery in on the 22nd of December. I just want to be able to love something so great that nothing can shake my foundation on it. And maybe that's why I haven't had a real relationship for a wife or a child. It's because I just lived a life of sin. When you live in a life of sin, why would God want to give you that? Why would anybody want that? And it's hard. It's hard to understand that no matter what you've done in your life, how bad, how evil it was, Christ sacrificed his life for every single one of us. And he just wants us to return back to him. And I don't think most people understand how bad the crucifixion was. Like I said, I wept at the end of Matthew. It still doesn't, it's horrible. The pain and the suffering that he went through for us as children, so that we may be able to develop a relationship and faith. Till to return to him. Because I tell you what, 61 years, it goes by fast. And the older you get, the faster they go. If I have an opportunity, I'll do whatever I'm commanded to do, whatever he tells me, whatever he whispers in my ear. Fill your life full of goodness. Love God before anything else. The journey's not easy. Trust me, I've had 61 years of it. It's not easy. At least I'll say I had a lot of fun, or what I thought was fun. I mean, it was fun, but there's a lot of pain. If it wasn't for Jesus Christ, I wouldn't be here, literally be here. Anyway, hope this helps somebody. I know these are long. It's kind of impossible to make them shorts. And I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just a guy, like I said, talking into a phone. But I hope this helps somebody struggling out there. Somebody that needs to hear this. I saw God. And he's real. And if I could give anybody what I felt and what I saw, I would. That's my experience. Anyways, thank you guys. Said be kind, everybody. Put your faith in something. Just put it in the Word. Not something, but put it into Christ. Just take a step forward. Thank you. Love to everyone.